All right, it's Monday. You guys gave us a list of questions and we're going to answer them. So the first one was about housing.
First one was about housing. So it's a three-phase approach. We are currently living in our garage in a box, and we're going to do that while we clear the land, build the platform, and erect the wall tents, which will be our house for fall and winter. Come spring, we will start the process of putting in a foundation or a platform and building a house. Long story short, we were originally going to use a traditional canvas tent. Found out that the building codes out here don't...
Canvas yurt.
Yeah, sorry, canvas yurt. Building codes out here don't allow for that, and so we kind of sort of want to follow the rules-ish.
I don't want to lock us in. And so if we can follow the rules, most people out here don't, but if we can follow the rules and be coded and all that, then I want to. And so one of the, when they heard that we wanted to do a yurt and it doesn't meet code, they suggested, and here's your Google for the day, smiling wood yurts. So that is our plan, at least a 41-foot. We might do two instead of one, but at least one 41-foot round house, sort of like a yurt. You'll see.
Yeah, so it has the same basic physics as a yurt, but it's hard sided and has a hard top. So, and I think in the long term we'll be much happier with that. But basically, so we'll have a round house with a round wall of windows. Looking at all that. So,
all right. So that's housing.
That's housing. The next thing is hygiene.
Yep, so we, again, phased approach. Before we even left, I bought a continuous hot water shower, and so Dave is working on setting that up. Somebody asked about priorities, and so that's the priority for today. It was going to be ready yesterday, but we need a different adapter, so he's got to run into town. But anyway, there's a hot water shower that we have. It's set up behind the camera, and we'll show you that once it's all set up, maybe. And then, so that's getting clean, and then pooping. We are going to poop in a bucket. I know lots of you are horrified by that idea. We are pooping in a bucket. The bucket's actually in the garage house thing, which is super weird, but that's where it is. And all this time, Dave and I have been together like 14 years. I've drawn a line about pooping in front of each other. Close the door, I'm pooping! And now we've been pooping in front of each other, which is super creepy for me, but Dave could care less.
Do wild yuppies shit in the woods?
Yes.
Yes, they do.
Yes, they do. So, and then we've been using combat wipes.
These things are the shit.
I don't need to hold that. And so we've been using that all along the trip, too.
Biodegradable. They biodegrade in 28 days. They clean well. They don't leave a film like baby wipes.
They don't smell. They're awesome.
If you've never used these and you're going camping or whatever, get these. Cool. They're awesome for road trips, go into the field, whatever.
And then I've got some feminine hygiene version of that too, so it doesn't mess you up. So I know you cared about that. All right, that's pretty much hygiene. I don't know what else they need to know about that. That's it, right?
That's it. We're washing dishes. So I posted a video yesterday where I got the big tank full of water, the 65-gallon tank of water. We're using that to wash dishes. We're using it for everything. So we're taking field sanitation is it's an important thing. When you live out here, you got to be clean. So we're doing it.
Says the Army dude. Field sanitation. Next. We weren't in the Army.
All right, so the Google. All right, so the next thing up is wildlife.
So I've seen deer. I've seen froggies jumping across the road getting squished when I was driving down it. We've seen an owl driving up our driveway, which was pretty cool.
Just sat there, didn't give a fuck that we were there, stared at us.
10 feet from us?
Yeah.
It was awesome, and then it flew across, went up in a tree as we drove by. It was amazing.
I've seen. Oh, we saw a possum.
Yep.
But nothing
else.
No bears. Our neighbor Paul said that his dogs sometimes chase bears out of the apple orchard that's down the way, but we haven't seen any. Haven't seen anything to be really concerned about, except we got a big ass spider in the garage in a box. but we decided to leave him because I think he's eating the other bugs that are in there. So.
So while he's looking, the driveway, you guys asked about that. We own 8 acres, and the driveway goes up our neighbor's 5 acres, so it's a long rectangle. And then the driveway goes up our neighbor's, and then when it curves, it becomes our property. So the last portion of that is ours, and everything to the left is ours. South. So sorry, I'm not Army. And yeah, so we own a fair bit of what you can see, but it's right next to our neighbors, and that a lot of that driveway is our neighbor's property that we have an easement for.
When you turn off of Sierra Trail, when you turn off the road that has the leaning alders on it onto our driveway, the first section of it is shared, and then it splits and it goes to their driveway and our driveway.
Well, somebody else owns that first section, and then then it turns into our neighbors, and then it's ours. So it's not shared. Somebody owns that.
Oh, sorry, I'm wrong.
Maybe we shouldn't do this video.
No, this is good. Do the dogs stay with us?
You're seeing it.
Yeah, so long story short, they go, they explore, they come back, and they check on us. This morning I went down down at the bottom of the road, we left the moving truck down there just because we figured it'll end up getting stuck on the driveway if we try and bring it up here. So went down there to bring some more stuff up, and lo and behold, I got out of the Jeep, and Odin and Loki had followed me down to the moving truck. So, but they stay pretty much within eye shot or ear shot of us. You know, they go, they come back. Yeah, exactly.
They come when they're called. We've been treating them a lot when they come, so goodies that they like, so they think that they might get a treat if they come. This one, I guess you can't see him now, Powder is sitting right here. He doesn't hardly leave our side. He's been my shadow. And Freya likes people, so she's always with us too, but she'll run with the dogs occasionally, the red dogs. So yeah, it's not been a problem. What has been a problem is our neighbors coming to visit. The dogs lose their ever-loving minds. They trapped Tom, who lives down in a yurt, and I felt Dave wasn't here, and I felt so bad, and I couldn't get them to shut up. It was horrifying. And Loki was parkouring off of him, you know, like jumping and bouncing off the guy. And then when he gets wound up and afraid, he nips, and I was afraid he was going to get Tom. I don't think he did. And Odin just wouldn't shut up, and it was horrible. And then our neighbors that have the 5 acres came in to work on their property, and the dogs were over there raising Cain at them, and I couldn't get them to leave them alone. I had to lock them in the car to get them to stop harassing them. So that is not going to work. The dogs driving me crazy and Dave crazy is one thing, but the dogs driving the neighbors crazy is a no-fly zone.
Well, and it's really weird because, like this morning, when the dogs followed me down to the truck, the mailman went by and got out and talked to me for a while. Really nice guy, and they just walked up to him, like, you know, dude was his buddy, their buddy, and
yeah.
You know, it was like they'd known him forever. So
I walked down
really
to
weird.
meet a neighbor yesterday, and they were absolutely fine with it. But that same person walked up the driveway, and they lost their mind. So I'm pretty sure it's territorial and protection.
They realize that this is their place, and they're just
protecting us and themselves. So anyway, so we'll have to fix the barking. We'll have to contain them in some way. I have ideas, but we need power before they work. So we'll see.
Working.
Yeah. So. My situation is I'm working remotely for now. We'll see if I can continue to do so after the whole COVID thing is over. But yeah, I can do my job anywhere. I have been doing it from home since March, so it's not a problem. I'll probably work here on the property. We will likely need to get a WeBoost, but the signal's not too bad. It's just not terribly consistent. And so
a WeBoost is a cellular signal booster that amplifies the cellular signal from the tower nearby.
So we'll probably do one of those. So that's my situation.
How can I put this delicately? My dickhead boss fired me via text for being on vacation and not responding to emails, even though I was on vacation and he knew I was moving across the country. And
before he hired him.
Before he hired me.
And said he would support it.
Yeah. And I was completely transparent with him. I was like, I'm going to need to be completely off the grid for a couple of weeks between the move and setup and all that stuff. And oh yeah, no problem.
And then he's scheduling meetings, trying to talk to him about what he's going to work on while he's on vacation. Fuck.
Yeah. So anyways, long story short is I got lots of time. I say long story short a lot.
Yeah.
I've got lots of time to work on the property because I am now both unemployed and homeless. So.
And I'm actually very happy about that because that dude was, I remember him being a cool guy, but this time around he's been toxic. So I'm very glad that he's out of Dave's life. It'll make living with Dave much easier on me, and it'll make Dave much happier. So I'm thrilled.
So, bus. I'll take this one. So, for those that you don't, thanks, bud. For those that you don't know, this whole journey sort of started with us discovering that people converted school buses into RVs and just went scooting around the country and the world, and living on BLM land and whatnot, and it really appealed to us. Wow, I'm gonna have an aneurysm. So we did that. We bought the bus, and it ended up being in worse shape than we thought it was. So it sat in storage. When we found this property and decided to buy it, the initial thought process, we were going to drive the bus out here, use it as a moving vehicle, and then as a temporary shelter while we worked on the property. I started working on the bus again, and it just turned out to have so much work that needed to be done to it that it wasn't insurmountable, but it was energy and money and time that I could spend working on the bus, or energy, money, and time I could dedicate to working on the property. So
and it was so rusty.
Yeah. So we could have done it. It just would have been a huge undertaking.
Yeah, and bringing a rusty vehicle out to a waterfront property seemed like a recipe for disaster. So we just decided that it was more trouble than it was worth, and we decided to go the wall tent route instead of the live in the bus route.
Yep. So instead of selling it, I was in a couple of Facebook groups that were dedicated to school bus conversions. So I posted up the first person who would make a donation of $100 to the Atlanta Humane Society would get the bus. So of course, people jumped on that. And then when the guy finally came to pick it up, found out that he was using it. He works for a ministry that helps that is dedicated to helping homeless people, and they intend to outfit it with cots and heat and whatnot, so they can give homeless people in the Atlanta area a place to be that's not cold come wintertime. So I couldn't take the dude's money. I just donated the bus to them. So
priorities. Showers today. Water. Getting the water out of the small container into the large container so that we can use the trailer again is priority. Getting shelves so we can get the batteries out of the moving truck and into the garage is priority. Getting the moving truck back, it was due back on Friday, we're taking it back on Monday, so that'll cost us. Getting the moving truck back, and then I think we're clearing.
Yeah, lots and lots of clearing.
So that we can put the tent up.
Yeah, I think we're gonna have to break down and buy a chipper shredder, because I have about 1,000 alders that are 4 inches or smaller that I can't burn them, and they're green and just.
Yeah, we're on a burn ban if we didn't tell you that already.
So I think I'm just gonna chip them all up and cover the hillside with compostable mulch.
I like it. What else?
Driveway on both sides. Community size. So Coyle has 100?
I don't know for sure. It feels like 100-ish homes.
Yeah, it's really tiny.
Yeah.
Just about everybody down here, even though people aren't living on top of each other, everybody knows everybody.
And I would say, I don't know this, but my gut says that like 80% commute. Like they don't live here full time. It's vacation property for them.
Yeah. That was the case with the neighbor up the road that gifted us the wine and the gummy bears.